tell me about a big contract that you won and some catalyst in your career that really changed things a lot.
Yeah. So for me, was another $5 million contract that I won that really changed me. That's what allowed me to start doing YouTube. What's amazing about that contract was, and it's a good story, was that I've been broke several times in my life. But this one, I was like the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
So not only that I had no money, I was actually $200,000 in debt. Because because on a private sector contract, I got fraudulently sued, some litigation stuff, and I had to settle out of court to keep my dignity and also to not go even further.
Mm-hmm.
So I settled out of court for $200,000, $225,000.
Wow.
Which I didn't have. I agreed to monthly payments of $5,000 a month, which I didn't have. And then I went back to start bidding on government contracts because when I got killed in the private sector, the government always was like, I never had a problem with that.
Right.
So I won this contract with this company for about $600,000. And then we start working on that contract. And then after that contract, they offered me just another project to look at. And by the time we finished up, that project was over $5 million.
Now your profit is built in that. When you submit your bid, that's part of your profit.
Yeah.
So you has all the cost, all the overhead, and then you tag on your profit.
Yeah.
How much do you make of that $5 million?
About $600,000.
Wow. That's nice. And then boom, content, YouTube. You're filming. I love it. I love it.
That's allowed me to start making YouTube. That's why I could film for 2 years without needing money.
Wow.
I mean, I literally, and I'll tell you,
how good did that feel? That's a W.
But let me tell you what's even more amazing. That project, it was in the Panhandle, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I think I only visited it 5 times in 2 years. I didn't even have to go there. I just cashed checks and signed.
Oh my gosh.
The hardest part was all the negotiation up front.
So how do you get more contracts like that? Those beefy, juicy ones, man.
Yeah, again, remember how I said this. So they gave me a $600,000 first, and then I helped them on this other one. But the $600,000 I won came because I helped them on a $25,000 project near the Space Center. So I had the relationship. So I helped the guy a few years back on this $25K deal, and he was stuck. He was in a jam. And he called me up and he said, hey man, I got this building. I don't have anybody to put this building up for me. He's like, and I'm not licensed to take possession of this building. Can you receive the building on my behalf and then have some guys put it up? And it was like, that was a piece of cake, bro. Because I was a licensed contractor that could take the building.
Okay. So
I signed the building over my name, my company name. I took possession. He had already bought the building.
Yeah.
But the company who he hired walked out on him, I guess. So he bought the building. So I was like, all right, cool. And then I had guys working up there. So I sent a couple guys to go up there to his job and stamp the building. I think we stood up in 2 days. And he was like, oh my gosh, you saved my life. And I was like, and then my friend, I think I made $13,000.
But it's about the relationships. Yeah.
But I didn't, but I mean, I wasn't thinking that way. I did it because the guy called me, he was in a jam.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it with a long-term plan. But then when I got into a jam, I called him up. He says, no, Eric, I remember you helped me out at that time. The next project, I'm calling it. And that's what he did. And then he called me for the next project and then called for the next project.
So you talked about you were in a couple $100,000 in debt. Describe kind of the process that you had to go through personally to overcome that adversity. What were you doing? What were you telling yourself? A lot of people would be in debt and be like, I'm done for. I'm over with. But you persevered. What'd you do?
So I was here before, when I was doing really well, I was in an entrepreneurs group called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. And those were people who were also entrepreneurs and business owners that had achieved a certain level of success. And I had some people in there that essentially, they not mentored me, but, mentored me indirectly. And one of the ladies told me, she said, Eric, the person that brought me in, very successful female. And she said to me, because Eric, you told me that you want to be a millionaire, right? She said, so what's $200,000? Right? And then she said to me, she goes, if you finance that over 30 years, you can work at Burger King and pay that off. So just changing your mindset to look at it different. Just
same facts.
Same facts. Put a different perspective.
Telling yourself a different story.
Right. You know, and that was so critical to me because it's like, he's right. $200,000. It's like, I mean, it's nothing. You know, because I mean, before that, and so to give you the kind of picture that maybe you didn't know, but it cost $500,000 cash. And just happened to be 200,000 below. But I had 300,000 in the bank for that. They got wiped out on top of the 200. So I have a $500,000 swing. So it wasn't just 200,000 I lost. I lost $500,000 cash, not play money, not stocks, not equity, capital. But when you talk to people like her, who says, well, aren't you striving for greatness anyways?
So that's nothing compared to that.
Yeah, if you take your energy and focus on that, that's where you're going to go. Focus on going ahead. That's where you're going to go.
I love it.
And then what happened? Less than a year later, I had a $5 million contract. And, you know, it's funny. I'll tell you this. The people who did that to me, I had a chance to speak to someone from their company. And I told them that I've got this great success story I want to tell you about. And so they're like, oh, really? So then I started telling them how they screwed me over. And I go, yeah, but if you guys hadn't screwed me to be so far in debt, I don't know if I'd have been taking that $5 million contract. I might have been afraid because I was so far in the hole. I had to conquer my fears to take on something bigger than I thought I could do because that's the only way I could get out of the hole.
Wow.
So it turned out to be a great success story. And then, hey, thanks for watching this clip. To see the entire episode, click right here over in the box where we talk about everything from government contracting to relationships.
Play good.